Hello and welcome to my masterclass on Daddy Daycare. The title of this episode is Kids Make Adults Do Stupid Things. So I want to start with the fact that I think that kids get a bad rap if you think about the parenting experience. And there's parenting books out there and such, but if you're like just trolling the topic of kids and they're not pictures of your actual kids, it's usually pretty spiteful or dark. There's not a lot of like positive energy on the kid having experience, especially at a young age. Um, and I think that that's unfortunate because then there's also this sort of joyful experience too. They're like the center of my universe. Like that seems a bit fractured and schizophrenic in a negative way. Um, and it got me thinking about it, sort of a different way to approach it, or a way to approach it, a framework to sort of like reconcile those two dimensions. Um, and it's that kids are tough, right? Kids are a difficult thing to manage. They're like a big dog, or it's just a lot of responsibility to kind of keep them, clean and sane and yourself sane and healthy and fed and all that stuff. Um, but they also make us do really stupid things. Um, while we are oftentimes well intentioned or have our hearts are in the right place or whatever, we can really still do stupid things. And that's sort of why I have this picture here. Um, and before I talk about it, I should say that finding a picture of somebody doing something awkward is difficult because you have somebody who is what looks elegant and nice and there's lighting is good and she's got, she looks relatively pretty and the makeup's well, but she's doing something awkward. This is obviously a staged picture. Um, but she could have just had, put her kid in the car, or her kid's in the car or something, and she gets her hand caught, and maybe she locks her keys in her car at the same time. Um, and one wonders, like, should you be wearing these outfits if that's what you're really doing? You're kind of really maybe putting yourself in a bad situation to begin with. And it kind of highlights the fact that as adults, kids really will box out our headspace. They occupy so much of our attention and our focus just trying to do all the things that we can, that it's very easy for us to step in cow pies, and for reasons that are totally understandable yet totally not understandable depending on the circumstances. um, and I think that having that attitude can be helpful. One, because you're either learning from mistakes or challenges, or you're laughing at them. And it kind of puts you in a mindset of, no one's, really the bad guy in this situation. We just do stupid things, and I myself is included. And in the sense that just even today, we're potty training Lennox. He's almost 3. It's going pretty well, but I'm an active dad who kind of want to, like, keeps him in motion. If he's got a lot of energy he needs to burn off, particularly in the mornings. And we'll go play basketball down the street, and I'm kind of luring him, and we're having a good time, totally forgetting the potty training experience. And we're like very far from the house, not that, like an eighth of a mile. And he's like, I gotta go potty, daddy. And I'm like, oh no, I just totally set us back. And so I'm like, okay, kid, can you hold it? And we had to walk like, block and a half back to the house. And we got there and he made it. So it's all good. It doesn't always happen that way. And it is a mess sometimes. And I'm just like, also my fault. And I, have to remember not to skewer myself and to kind of be like, it's all right, man. Like it's not the kid's fault. You shouldn't like blame Lennox. He's just potty training. But I wouldn't be in the situation if I didn't have a kid to begin with. So like he's culpable to some degree, at least in terms of acknowledging that it's a factor and reminding myself that like kids are difficult. This whole situation is difficult and a challenge, but they also make adults do stupid things. And if I choose to stay within myself and remind myself like, oh, you bring the thing with you and don't take your eye off the ball. Um, and then it gets better or whatever, don't do it again. Or it's another funny story that's sort of getting your arm caught in a door. And hopefully it's not too serious. The circumstances can be quite severe depending on the mistake, unfortunately. But the idea of kids are tough, but kids make adults do stupid things, it also applies for more than one person. And I think in dealing with your partner or maybe in-laws, we're oftentimes all very well intentioned, but we can very easily bonk heads when we're trying to take care of our family members, our kids, more specifically. Um, and just remembering that, we might have the best intentions, but we can also do really stupid things. And we wouldn't be doing them if the kid wasn't there. So it's a way to kind of untangle yourself from the anxiety or the frustration or the hornet's web that these situations can potentially be. And I don't know, find a way to cope. Which I think we all have to do to some degree. But I hope everybody's nice and cool out there and enjoying the last of the summer. Take care.